So good morning, everyone. It's the 1st of August, Tuesday, the 1st of August. We have tonight and a very exciting kickoff call. So please be sure to mark your calendars, check your WhatsApp group messages for the links for the call this evening. That's going to be a great call hosted by Ruben Yeskis with some wonderful announcements. So let's be sure to tune in for that this evening. I want to talk a little bit today about some emerging trends in terms of entrepreneurship and direct sales, and also how this can affect our recruitment activity and what we may be inclined to share when it comes to connecting with others. Every year, well, let me step back for just a second. There's an old saying that says, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, right? And if you want to manage your business, you want to have some good measures in place to know how to evaluate it and know how to move forward and know if you're on the right track, if you're off the mark, if you're saying the right things, if you're not saying the right things. You've got to be able to measure that in some way. Now, I've also had it in my experience, and I'm sure you've seen this in some occasions with members of your teams over the years, similar things happening. I've had a couple of occasions where people have reached out to me wanting help with their recruiting activity, feeling like their message isn't on point. When I've asked the questions why, just as a sidebar to the mentoring process, it's always good to lead with questions, right? And to ask as many exploratory questions as you can to understand the full nature of what you're working with. This certainly was the case here with these conversations. When I asked what it was they were sharing, they gave their answers. The feedback seemed to be actually pretty good. Their message was pretty nice. I asked how many people they'd reached out to in their recruiting efforts over the past month. Just a couple of people. But their response, their concern was, everyone is saying no. Well, everyone was two. Two people. That was it. But have you ever had that kind of feedback when you've been working with members of your team and they say, oh, this just isn't resonating with people right now. People are saying no, people are tired, people are this, people, and you get all of these reasons why people are saying no. But if you dig a little deeper, sometimes people represents a very small number indeed. The bigger the data, the easier it is to measure it and to be more effective in our ability to measure the data correctly, accurately. We want to make sure that we're measuring, but we want to be measuring correctly. That being said, there is an entrepreneurship report that is conducted every year by Amway, and that helps them to, and they share it with everyone in direct sales, right? I'm going to share with you some statistics from their entrepreneurship report. It covers 15,000 people interviewed across 15 countries. And it's all on the subject of entrepreneurship, what people are thinking and feeling in terms of running their own business and feeling an interest and an inclination towards entrepreneurship. This is what it's about. I'm going to share my screen so you can see some of the data here, because I think if you haven't read this already, it came out just this past week. It's certainly very, very interesting statistics. And we're going to pull from this, what does this tell us now about what I should be saying to people, or how should I be approaching people in terms of my recruiting activities? Because certainly it's going to give us some reasons to be confident. So let's get this screen shared. 1 second, here we go. Okay, can you see that here where it says, you got the date? You can see it there. Okay, excellent. So we're going to share today 5 new normals. Now, what's interesting about this data, like I said, I'll scroll up just a little bit. So 15,000 people surveyed, 15 countries worldwide: Canada, Germany, Hong Kong, India, Italy, Japan, mainland China, Malaysia, Mexico, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, Thailand, United States, and Vietnam. So certainly relevant to our audience here. So here's the interesting thing. This really, what I like about this research is it comes post-COVID. So what is the impact now that COVID has been and gone? What is the impact on people's mindsets in terms of entrepreneurship in today's world here in North America? What we're seeing is, first of all, new normal number 1, 6 out of 10 people are interested in starting their own business. What an encouraging statistic that is. 58% And not only that, 37% said they either already have a business plan in place or they will be starting with one over the next 12 months, meaning they're getting ready to get going now. This is really encouraging, this, isn't it? So 6 out of 10 people interested in starting a new business for themselves. This is interesting as well. Most people felt that they actually had the resources necessary to start a business. This is really encouraging too. There's one of the biggest reasons or barriers for success or starting a business historically was, do I have the means, the financial means to do that? We can see here 40% identified raising capital as starting their business, to start their business, as the number one barrier, which is actually down from 2019. It was 45%. What does this mean? More people are feeling financially equipped to start their own business. The great thing about this is, in relation to NECAN, it takes very little capital to start your own business in NECAN. So the number one barrier to people wanting to start their own business, having the financial means to do so, us as an entry point financially, very, very comfortable, which means we reduce significantly the number one barrier for people starting their own businesses. So again, 40% here, looking in the corner here, expressed a business interest in the sharing economy in 2023, which was up from 35% in 2019. So really, really positive messaging coming through here. Okay, new normal number 3. 77% of people interviewed are comfortable buying products through social media. Now, that was a huge impact from COVID, when we all became quarantined and kind of social distancing became the norm for a couple of years. What we did see was a huge boom in the tech industry, and social selling and online buying went through the roof. Companies like Amazon had an absolute field day, and of course, social media went crazy. So what we're seeing here is, as we move forward, 6 out of 10 people interested in starting their own business, the number one barrier to doing so is a concern of, do I have the financial means to start it? But other means, in terms of my mind and heart, I'm there. Financially, do I have the means? Well, with NECAN, you certainly do, because it doesn't take much to get started. But here, really interesting, 77% of people are saying they would purchase products through recommendations extended on social media. Social media is becoming a very comfortable way to shop now. This means, as we navigate the future for our own businesses, it's really good to recognize the importance that social media plays in the future of our businesses. This is really, really good. More than half of people surveyed knew someone who had a business, making it more desirable. This was really encouraging, because especially in countries like the US and Canada, where if someone that you know, typically if you start your own business in the past, if you're running your own business, if you're promoting your own thing, people that we know in our immediate circle aren't always inclined to follow, because they know, like, and trust us. Sometimes there is that little bit of barrier, a bit of a barrier, because it's us doing it versus, which is why we have the ABC, right? We get that third-party validation to come in to validate what we're talking about and to give us the validation to our peer group from a trusted third party. What we're seeing here now is that mindset is shifting a little bit. 59% of people have friends or family who participate in income opportunities, the most common being freelancing, social selling, or direct selling. And as a consequence of that, it actually makes it more desirable. So what we're seeing now, and I think this really comes as a consequence of social selling and social media, we're seeing a lot more behavior being influenced as a consequence of social recommendations. You look at how we watch TV nowadays. When we were younger, not that long ago, you used to get the TV guide. Do you remember that paper, that little TV guide? I used to get all excited when it was Christmas time when I was a kid to see what movies were coming out over Christmas. Nowadays, it's all available 24/7, whenever you want, whatever you want to watch. And what really governs our choices in many instances, does it have a 5-star review? how many people have commented on how popular this movie is. Social selling is a huge way forward. Look at, just for example, the marketing that went into these recent movies that have hit our screens over the last couple of weeks with Oppenheimer and Barbie. That Barbie movie has become this incredible fad. Everyone got talking about it, and it's blown up records in the movie theaters. Why? Social selling is making a huge difference there, isn't it? So we're certainly seeing that now take effect in terms of how people view when we take up our own businesses, how they choose to respond. Number 5, research is showing it's a great time to be an entrepreneur. We're seeing people with more necessary skills, more resources, and increased access to business opportunity, more awareness, and between freelancing, the gig economy, direct selling, franchising, and other opportunities, they're fully embracing the new normal, which is entrepreneurship. 96% said they feel okay about other people pursuing side incomes. 54% see it as either totally normal or as a great way for people to use their talents. You see, the favorability here that we have now with direct selling is really increasing. 67% view having their own business as a desirable opportunity when they know someone who started a business, up from 58%. This is up from 58% in 2019. So what we see there, again, another huge jump. 58% saw it as desirable when they knew someone that had started their own business pre-pandemic. Post-pandemic, now 67% are seeing it as desirable. I think that's really, really compelling. So these are some really interesting statistics that should give each of us on the call today a great feeling of confidence in reaching out to others and talking about the opportunity, the income opportunity that we have with Nikan. Now, what is it now that we see? We've got all of this interest, access, and familiarity with entrepreneurship. And the more people see it and it being experienced in other people's lives, the more confident they are in having it, either seeing it as a norm and saying, good for them, that's great, which means a pat on the back for you for running your own business. Hey, 2 thumbs up. We feel confident that you're doing a good thing, versus questioning, doubting, and having concerns. Now we see it as being really optimistic and really positive. Now I want to pivot just a little bit into what is it that people are looking for? What is it that is attractive to them? We know from the research that Amway just provided, one of the big reasons for people being interested was financial independence. That was the number one reason for being interested in having their own business or pursuing their own side hustle, was financial independence. But it actually runs much deeper than that. I want to share with you some research, and I'll show you the book. Stepping away from my screen here. This actually comes from this book here. If you're interested in getting it, I highly recommend it. Oh, let me get it straight. The Renaissance Society. This is a really, really great book. If you're interested, take a screenshot, make a note of that. But it goes through, again, this book here gives some great research into what people are looking for today and what language is resonating with them when we communicate in this regard. So I'm going to share my screen again. And this time I'm going to share what people are looking for here. Okay. Quick thumbs up if you can see my screen. Yeah. Excellent, thank you. So this is what people are looking for now. There has been a pivot, there's been a change, as we can see from the pandemic, but this is what people are really looking to achieve right now, a belief in themselves. Now, as we go through this list, I want you to think about, one, how social media influences people's behavior and thoughts in this regard, because it certainly does, but also how this relates to Nikan. I want you to think of Nikan in the back of your mind as we look at what the research shows. This isn't my words. These are the words taken from this best-selling book where the research has already been done by these researchers. A belief in themselves. People are wanting to follow their own values. We certainly see that now more than ever, don't we? Independence, but not just in financial terms, as we were talking about before. People are interested in starting up their own businesses now for the sake of financial independence, but they're also wanting more than that. They're wanting greater independence in terms of authority. Their voice now is stronger. They have a voice now. When the internet first burst onto the screen in our homes, it was all about information we could consume. It was stuff that we could download. Now we're all about uploading content, aren't we? We're sharing our voice. We have a voice to share. We have opinions to raise. We have platforms on which we can speak. And I want to have my voice heard. We also see that hierarchies are flatter now. Look at how easy it is to reach out to CEOs of companies today. If you've got a concern or an opinion to share about their business or their brand, you can get all the way to the top very, very quickly with the thanks to platforms like Twitter and Instagram and you name it. You can get there very fast. So that voice, what it means is, again, we dig a little deeper here. It means people want to be validated. They want to feel a sense of contribution. They want to participate in what they're doing. They want to have influence. And certainly we see that in terms of influencers, right? On social media. Relationships are becoming more important. Now people are looking at adding value and improving the relationships. And interestingly, and I think definitely post-pandemic, the need for well-being is on the increase. Now, as you look at that list, how does that resonate with what we offer in Nikan? Isn't that wonderful? Doesn't that kind of make your heart swell? Do we give people a reason to believe in themselves through humans being more? Do we give them a chance to follow their own values in a way that is healthy and positive and gives them a chance to have impact? Do they have a voice here? Do they have an opportunity to have validation, to contribute, to participate? Absolutely. Do we give them a chance to improve their relationships and, of course, make new ones? And that last one, well, we couldn't ask for a better word to see what people are seeking nowadays, well-being. We offer that in bucket loads. So I really, really like that. So again, think about the messaging and the language that you use when it comes to talking to others about the Nikan income opportunity, recognizing that all of this falls under that same umbrella, because the income opportunity, as we start to share with people more, the opportunity to be a business partner with us in Nikan, what we're offering them isn't just something in better or more security or peace of mind in terms of finances. It's all of this stuff as well. And this all comes as a part of that vehicle that we provide in giving them financial independence. Now, what we're finding here, what the world's economy is discovering, is that over the next 30 years, people are going to be really starting to pursue more purpose. But what's really important is that the purpose is shared. So this is really interesting here. So what we see is, as we're looking at all of those key words that we were talking about on the previous screen, if you can summarize that, if I go back here just a second, can I go back? Here we go. As I go back to the screen, if you were to summarize that in a couple of words, what you would see is a greater sense of purpose, right? But if you want to have purpose that has a real impact, shared purpose is even more powerful. Because when it's something greater than ourselves, that's when we really get to tap into meaning at a deep and profound level. Now, let's look at this. I'm going to share with you some examples from some mission statements and see if you can see which one is on point and which one is not, recognizing what we talked about here in terms of shared purpose. Adidas's mission statement. The Adidas Group strives to be the leader in the sporting goods industry with brands built on a passion for sports and a sporting lifestyle. Okay, now let's look at Nike's mission statement, see what you think of this one. To bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. I love this little asterisk. If you have a body, you're an athlete. I love that. I love that. Now, again, what we're looking at here is brands that are on point. One of these brands is on point, one is off point. What is the point that they are on? If they are on point, they are focused on shared purpose. Which one do you think is focused on real, meaningful purpose? Let's have a look at another one. I've got a couple of examples to see if you can spot the right messaging. Okay, Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks, brands that aren't necessarily in line with well-being like Nikken, but nonetheless they're big global brands, and it highlights a point. Okay, Dunkin' Donuts, their mission statement: to make and serve the freshest, most delicious coffee and donuts quickly and courteously in modern, well-merchandised stores. Now let's look at Starbucks. That sounds very, it sounds very clinical, that, doesn't it? Very, very, yeah, just very clinical, very clinical. Starbucks: to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. Oh, what a difference that is. You know, it's interesting. The CEO of Starbucks once said, "We're not a coffee company. We're a people company who just happens to make coffee." I really like that. We're a people company. We just happen to make coffee. Okay, let's look at this next one. Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Pepsi's is a very long-winded one. They break it down into mission and vision. Their mission, to be the world's premier consumer products company focused on convenient foods and beverages. Coca-Cola's mission: to inspire moments of optimism and happiness, to create value and make a difference. Now, I'm not sure if you noticed, but Nike, Starbucks, and Coca-Cola all use the word inspire in their mission statement. If we want to inspire people, we need to talk about shared purpose. And if we talk about shared purpose, we need to do so in an inspiring way. Now, I like this. What it means is, in this pursuit of inspiration, that's what each of them were trying to portray here, is our mission is to inspire humankind. And they had their different vehicles in which to do that. What that tells us is the product is a byproduct. The business isn't all about the product. The business is all about people. People are what Nikken is all about. And what does it mean when we say that Nikken is all about people? We're all about inspiring people to a shared purpose of becoming better. And we provide a framework where their voice can be heard, their mission can be achieved, their sense of power can be enabled and made bolder, stronger, bigger, more vibrant. And they can have a chance to really participate in a way where their voice is heard, where it resonates, and where it makes a difference. And in so doing, they have a chance to establish for themselves a greater opportunity for financial independence. Does that sound like something that would resonate with people that you're talking to right now? Absolutely, I think so. I think so. So I share this today hoping that it does a couple of things. One, it inspires us and gives us confidence to reach out and talk to more people, because what we're seeing is more and more people, especially post-pandemic, are open-minded and interested and even actively pursuing business opportunities as we speak. In fact, the odds are in our favor. 60%, 6 out of 10 people were interested. And so many people, almost 80%, considered social selling and social media an effective way to purchase products. That was incredible, that 78% specifically. And what we see here is all of the language, all of the messaging that we have in Nikken is exactly what people are pursuing today. So, like I said, twofold objective here. One, it should buoy us up with confidence to go out and speak to more people, recognizing that we will have a more favorable outcome than what we may have experienced in the past, especially if we get the language right. And two, the second objective for today was to share with you some of the language that we feel people are really resonating with today, that we can use to get that message across effectively and connect heart to heart. What this is all about, when we're talking to others about our income opportunity, we are inspiring them to a greater cause to participate in making the world and themselves a better place. And we've got all of the language there to do that from what the research is showing. We're right on point. And I love that because what it gives evidence to Nikken as being is authentic. We've been sharing this message, declaring this message since 1975, almost 50 years. And that means we've not been doing it because it's a trend or a fad, because it's a buzzword or because it's popular. We've been doing it because it's right. We're doing it because it has meaning, it has value, and it genuinely makes a difference. And we've got plenty of, an abundance of evidence to support that that is the case. So my invitation to you today as we wrap up is to look at your contact list and make a goal to reach out to some people today. Maybe hit that chicken list first. I always find the chicken list is the best place to start because it gets the scary stuff out the way. And then we have a great rest of the day as we pursue the other people that we're not so intimidated to reach out to. But let's reach out to more people. Let's start today. Let's tick off some names on our list, have some reach outs, do some ABCs. If you want anyone to participate in ABCs, my hand is raised. Please feel comfortable to reach out to me at any time. I'm always here, anxious to support you in your ABCs and in your contacting. This is a great time to be a NECA. And tonight, like I said, on the kickoff call, you'll hear some more reasons as to why it's going to be so good because we've got some cool announcements coming our way. So thank you all very much. I hope this has been helpful. And I hope especially it's been encouraging. So thank you all very much. Love you loads. And we'll see you in the kickoff call tonight. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.